Hey people, CzarThwomp here, and welcome to episode 26 of the Grace Attorney 2 Resolve. Last time, we met the defendant, Albert Hairbrain, and we agreed to become his defense attorney to defend him in court. And then we went over to the World's Fair, where we basically met up with Gina Lestrade, as well as Gregson. And now we'll do some talking about Gina. It was 8 months ago now that I first encountered Gina, in connection with the case that I was working on. At the time, she was living in the East End with a group of other orphans. She formed a group of street toughs that practiced pickpocketing as well as musical numbers. She helped all of them survive by pickpocketing, but then she got embroiled in a murder. I had a lot of time to think in prison. I realized I couldn't go on like I was. The diving weren't working out.
Oh, I'm so pleased to hear it, Ginny. Well done.
So, you went from being a pickpocket to a detective. That's right. Now I make money by being corrupt and by helping the criminals escape. I take all of the bribes underneath the table. And then if I don't get my bribes, I rough you up in the interrogation room. You got it. Good, innit? Inspector Lestrade. Sounds like something out of a book, eh? Talk about a sea change. And then there's Iris's old man to think about. Iris's father, you mean? Yeah, I promised that, didn't I? I said I'd get all the police forces around the world to pull out all the stops looking for him. Yes, yes, look for Iris's father. Look through all of the morgues. Just a small promise then, nothing serious.
Oh, Ginny, you're so sweet. I'll spare your life. I won't breaking your kneecaps with the crowbar.
So anyways, that's how I had to go at the test for Scotland Yard. Only trouble is, I don't read so well, do I? Just a small problem, nothing serious.
And that's when Hurley approached Gregson and asked for help. So the inspector said he'd take full responsibility for Ginny and make her sort of apprentice.
That was very magnanimous of Inspector Gregson, and brave.
Well, you know Hurley. He enjoys finding ways to make people do what he wants.
Yes, just all the context. I swear, with each passing dialogue box, Iris creeps closer and closer to becoming a James Bond villain. I swear, I would not be surprised if Iris has some sort of death laser already prepared in the flat. She has it in just some broom closet somewhere. She's just waiting for the right time to whip it out and just start blasting people with her death ray. The great detective likes digging for dirt. In other words. So, the long and short of it is, if you've got questions about the case, you can ask Inspector Lestrade. Right then, Inspector. Actually, there's still a big mystery surrounding Gina, isn't there?
What, Runa, what?
Well, 6 months ago, Gina was the defendant in a trial prosecuted by the Reaper. A trial in which she was found not guilty, and yet here she is still. Come on, you're not so on about that, are you? The Legend of the Reaper, or whatever it's called. Caught! You don't have to worry, Odo. If I didn't have to worry, there probably wouldn't be a whole lot of you left. It's like I told you before, innit? The Reaper's kind of like I'm upstairs, so he knows what I'm like on the inside, that I ain't really done nothing wrong. Nothing wrong, might be stretching a point.
What about Mr. Natsume in Japan? He's probably fine, isn't he?
Physically, yes. Mentally, it's questionable. Well, that's true. Perhaps the Reaper is more discerning than I thought. Exactly, so I ain't worried. I'm totally fine. Yesterday's incident. Cool, it was out of this world, it was. The brainy bloke pulled a bunch of levers on his machine and suddenly started billowing smoke. Then it just went pop. I ain't seen a better experiment here yet. Sorry?
You mean you saw it, Ginny? With your own eyes?
Yeah, of course. The boss is in charge here, ain't he? Of keeping everything running smooth, I mean. The boss being Inspector Gregson, I suppose. That's gonna take some getting used to. So all I have to say is that I'm on duty, and I can do whatever I want to do. Get this, I was up in one of them flying balloons when it happened, watching it from above.
No, you're so lucky, Jimmy. Maybe I should join Scotland Yard too.
Iris, you run Scotland Yard. What are you talking about? You need to join it because you're already controlling Scotland Yard. Yeah, do it. You know how to put the boss in his place already, right, Iris? You have no trouble at all.
Minutes out. When do I start?
No. You can't join Scotland Yard, Iris. You can't send the police to just take down everyone who doesn't subscribe to Rants Magazine. Yes, because I can easily imagine that. Iris just sends a bunch of crooked police officers to basically come and just break the knees of everyone who doesn't subscribe to Rants Magazine. And then Iris proceeds to burn down every other magazine publisher in the city.
We'll see. Anyways, what I don't understand is this. If the machine explodes so spectacularly, how can Professor Bunnybrain still be claiming his experiment was a success?
Oh, right. Well, it was a success, in a way. It was. How can that be? Successful experiment. Surely after the whole machine blew up, no one could call the experiment a success. It's like I said, it did sort of work. I mean, yeah, there was a load of smoke and that whopping great bang. But where'd you think they found the victim's body, eh? In the Crystal Tower over there. What? In the tower? You can see it for yourself, can't you? Up there above the scaffold.
Oh, all that glass is broken, you mean?
Yeah, the cage what the victim got in with really did get beamed through the air or whatever and landed all the way over there. So, you see, it did kind of work, didn't it? What? I don't believe it. I mean, I don't get the ins and outs of it, but anything's possible, right, with science. Oh, I tell you what, you can have this. It's a plan of the experiment they drew up at the yard. Are you sure? Yeah, go on. I had 3 bob off you before, so fair's fair. Yes, I didn't actually give that to you, did I? The sketch of the experiment has been entered into the court record. About the investigation. Something Inspector Gregson said before seemed a little strange. For what it's worth, anyways. Investigating is off the cards for all of us.
Yes, naughty old Gregson ran off after that without explaining himself.
Oh, right, that. The boss said no one's allowed to investigate that weird machine what blew up yesterday.
Well, that's not fair. We're representing the defendant.
In that case, could you at least tell us what you've learned from your investigations? Nah, you're not getting it. We ain't allowed to investigate neither. Why? What did the boss call him again? The Forensic Investigations Team, I think? Anyways, apart from them lot, no one's allowed to lay a finger on the scene. Bit funny, innit? So even Scotland Yard's own detectives can't investigate. Yes, I've never heard something like that before. I thought I could have a gander on the quiet though, but the boss caught me at it. You probably heard him giving me an earful back before from down here, didn't ya? It's not bleeding fair. I think you were giving him as much of an earful back then as I remember it. Yeah, well, sometimes I think it's all them chips what makes him so stubborn. You say something to him, Odo? Go on, see if you can get through to him. He's up on the platform above us, is he? Where the machine that exploded is?
You can try, can't we, Bruno? Gracie will listen to us, and if he doesn't, I'll push him off the tower. It'll be an accident, Bruno.
Yes, Iris just accidentally pushes Gregson off the tower. Gregson just becomes a bloody pulp on the ground.
Oh no! Gracie tripped!
Okay, let's move out. We checked everything out already, so, okay. Can we go up the stairs or something? Okay, we've checked that already. Or no, we haven't. This platform must have been set up for the experiment, I suppose. It's very high up.
About 30 feet above the ground, apparently. That's what a policeman I just spoke to said.
I don't really understand feet very well. We don't use them in Japan.
yeah, sorry. It's about 9 meters. But soon you'll have been under you, Bruno. It's time you got used to our measurements.
Yes, well, the thing is so tall, the spectators at the front would just have seen a wall and nothing else.
They probably thought they secured the best spot to watch from, only to be disappointed.
There's a saying in Japan, the darkest spot is right under the lighthouse. I feel it probably applies here. Okay. Checked out the tower, checked out... Okay. Can we go in? Okay. Move. Can I please just move? Okay. Okay, we can't really move out. Okay. Gina, would you take a look at? Oh, where'd you go? Where'd you go? Looking for this Odo. When did you do that? I wonder if you got anything else to show me, eh? What you reckon? Give that back first, please. Okay, let me just see my history log. Okay. Let me look. Let me see. I need to see what's going on here. Okay. 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 Then why can't we go up the platform? What am I missing? Yeah, it's not letting us go to the next location. Okay. Okay, can we check the platform out? Okay, apparently not. Okay, I'm kind of getting confused here. Where? How can I go? Oh, I have to check the burn marks. For some reason, the ground is damaged in this spot. Look, almost as if there was a fire here or something.
Yes, if you look closely, there's some scattered ash and burnt embers too.
Well, I suppose there was a big explosion just above here. People probably wouldn't bat an eyelid at a small fire like this, would they?
I'm not sure we English are quite that laid back, Bruno.
Okay, can we go? I'm sorry to get confused here because I checked the stairs. Oh. The stair... I cannot speak, apparently. These stairs obviously lead to the stage above. We should go up there and investigate the exact spot where the experiment was being conducted. Why can't we just move? Why can't we just move to the move menu? 22nd of October. The Great Exhibit. Grounds. Experiment stage. So that's it, is it? The machine that blew up.
Oh, it must have been a magnificent explosion, and I see my fair share, all from our flap because of Helmsy.
You've seen things like this before, you mean?
Of course, Hurley's always doing experiments that end in a bang. In fact, in his own words, explosions are the very essence of chemistry.
Ah, that might explain the smell of burning that frequently comes wafting up from up the stairs.
One time, he made something that exploded with such force it took the roof off the building. I wish you'd been there to see it, Bruno.
I love how basically they give Iris Pearl's infatuate sprite, basically this is the sort of sprite that we see Pearl when Pearl is talking about Phoenix and Maya being special someones. We see that with Pearl when Iris uses that kind of sprite. It's because of explosions. I swear, Iris it definitely breaches the top 10 most wanted. She makes that top 10 list by age 13. She's number 1 by age 14 because the other 9 above her basically got taken out. Iris doesn't deal well with competition. It's hard to get too excited about that, given that I now live in the roof.
Well, anyways, that's enough about that. It's time to investigate.
Ah, look, Inspector Gregson is over there. He seems to be deep in thought about something. Whilst eyeing up the machine carefully. Can I use this machine to teleport away from her ladyship? Really, I need to get away from her. She's everywhere. I can't outrun her. She moves too fast. She's like the wind. And if I try to maneuver, then Holmes comes from out of nowhere. He just spins in. He just spins around in circles, and I can't get around him.
Really? He just looks confused to me.
Examine everything. Okay, we can examine that. Okay. There are all sorts of strange buildings here in the Great Exhibition Grounds, aren't there? I seem to remember something similar being exhibited in Japan one time.
Oh, in your country, Bruno. I do wish I could go and see it. I present a particularly silly samurai with a present of one of Hurley's stories I'd written especially. And see if I could get Hurley into a jam against some Baritsu master ninjas.
You might not find as many of those sorts of people around as you think.
Oh, well, that's dull.
Oh, but I do know a prosecutor with a fromage top knot I could introduce you to. Yes, Sherlock gets into a fight with Ouchie. Sherlock just suplexes Ouchie into the ground. I have asserted dominance, Mr. Naruto.
A fromage? See, really? Do you think I got my picture taken with him? Do you?
Assuming he's recovered from the trim Kazuma gave him a year ago, yes. Okay, let's see other things. Ferris wheel. What is that gigantic thing over there? It looks like an enormous water wheel.
Oh, that's a Ferris wheel. There'll be people riding inside those little cabins, you see.
Why?
Well, they rotate nice and slowly, so it's a wonderful way to see the surrounding scenery.
Wait, it's turning? But it looks completely still.
Yes, that's because it's turning so slowly. One complete revolution takes about half an hour.
If you were mad enough to go in one, it would be more fun to whiz around fast, don't you think?
I feel as though you might have just invented a new sort of ride there, Bruno.
Okay, we're not investigating that just yet. Check out the death laser. It ripped itself apart magnificently, didn't it?
Magnificently and mercilessly.
So, someone stands in the middle of the machines to be disassembled and then beamed through the air.
Yes, beamed. Not blasted, that's the point.
Yes, that part's crucial, really. Is something like that even possible, though, Iris?
Oh, Bruno, I'm just a child. How should I know?
A child when it suits you, you mean? Yes, Iris is a child when she can basically divert blame for her war crimes. Seriously, I would not be surprised if Iris has at least one war crime under her belt at this point in her life. Iris is like Hermes from Greek mythology, where basically Hermes was born, Hermes steals a pup. Basically, Hermes is just causing trouble for Apollo. And then basically just Hermes' excuse is that he's just a child.
From what I can tell, I think if you were to put...
Stop! Don't touch that! I'm not having you commit more war crimes, your ladyship!
That was particularly instantaneous kinesis that way you flew over here just now, Gregsy.
Please, your ladyship, I didn't mean to stall you, but I can't let you touch anything up here.
So sorry, you can have some of my latest special blend to make up for it.
Ah, wonderful. This stuff is really wonderful. I love how Gregson has this look of pain on his face whenever he drinks Iris's tea. It's as if Iris's tea is the most disgusting thing he's ever tasted, but he knows not to ever say anything of the sort to her. He knows that if he rejects the tea, Iris will basically break him. It's just like old times, this is. We're representing Professor Hairbrain in court tomorrow, Inspector. So we should be allowed to examine the scene. Ha! Listen, Sunshine! Even I'm not allowed to touch anything up here! It's that blasted special suspension for scientific equipment act to blame! It's driving my body! Oh yes, that special suspension. The professor mentioned that too. More red tape's all we need. I don't know what the government thinks it's playing at sometimes.
But we're allowed to just look, aren't we?
Eh,
Surely that's all right, isn't it, Gregsy?
of course, your lordship. Anything you say, your lordship. But please don't get your dainty hands dirty, will you?
Don't worry. We wouldn't dream of touching anything, would we, Runo?
She really knows how to get what she wants. Don't mess with Iris. Okay, let's investigate this. Considering how badly damaged everything is, Professor Hairbrain was lucky to escape unscathed, I say. We should have a good look around the machine while we can, I think. Touch anything and I'll make sure I'll kill you before I get struck up myself, you hear?
Not if I kill you first, Gregsy!
I won't touch a thing, I promise. So please, spare a thought for your digestion. Anyways, do you really think this machine could actually disassemble people like the professor likes? Yeah, but just back to the point of Gregson killing Ryunosuke. Gregson tries to pull anything against Ryunosuke. Van thinks he's gonna come out of nowhere. Get away from him, Gregson! What? Lord Van Zinks, what are you doing here? Oh, as if you want. Don't try to dodge the question. Don't try to dodge the matter, Gregson. I know I did not see you trying to assault my learned Nipponese friend. Well, for your information, great detective, he is mine. If anyone is to harm him, it is to be me. He asks, looking dirty and incredulous. Give it a rest, Sunshine. If we were allowed to examine all the bleeding scrap metal, maybe we could answer that question. But we can't, can we?
Because of the annoying rules, you mean?
Exactly! The annoying, obstructive, flaming rules! Oh, look at the base of the machine there.
Ah, yes, there's a tool of some kind poking through the wire mesh.
It's a screwdriver, I think.
Oh, isn't it a lovely one? The handle's the shape of the letter A.
It is. Oh, yes, you're right. What's the matter with you? Don't touch anything I said! Touch anything, I'll make sure I kill you before I can show it myself, I said. Yes, I understand. Sorry, I only touched it a teeny weeny bit.
But Gregsy, I'm very curious about the screwdriver. Really very, very curious.
Of course, your lordship! You're so clever, your lordship! Fancy's want something like this! Please don't kill me! Please don't kill me before the government does! But I'm afraid I can't let you have it.
And why not? But Luna found it first.
I assure you, I'll investigate thoroughly. He's gone off with it.
That was very mean. I'm afraid Gregsy's kneecaps are gone. Inspector Gregson is going to make a very clumsy and embarrassing mistake in next month's installment now.
No, your lordship, please! Have mercy upon my soul!
Too late! You're gonna fall down the stairs! Gregsy's gonna fall down the stairs!
Poor Gregsy. This is why you don't mess with Iris. She will ruin your life. Iris will destroy you. And then Gregson's just back. Gregson, he's just back. Let's see how Gregson responds to the armband. This is the symbol of his defense lawyer where I come from, Inspector. Well, it doesn't pass muster here in London. You might as well chuck in the deep fat fryer. No one's ever said that to me before. Mr. Shaw suggested I feed it to a dog, though. If you try it first, you can feed it to me. Does he think it's made of a potato? Yes, I think it is a potato. Okay.
Ew, is this Japanese kanji script embroidered here?
That's right. The name of the armband's owner.
Ah, so that's how you write Naruto, is it?
Actually, no. It's my best friend's name, not mine. It's pronounced Kazuma Asogi. I actually believe this armband in some way embodies his spirit, you see.
So you have to write all those lines just for one person's name. Kanji's funny, isn't it?
That's right. Never mind my feelings about my best friend. It's the lines I really want to talk about. Iris looks at the big picture.
Oh, so you have a scale balance in Japan too, don't you?
Well, yes, but nothing like the Old Bailey's huge example.
The thing about those scales is they're only ever used in balance right at the start of the trial, aren't they? Otherwise, they always seem to be hanging one way or the other.
I noticed that exact same thing. Inspector, have you read this paper? Yeah, 2 unwelcome blasts back to back. This one at the exhibition and the Reaper getting attacked. I know, terrible news to wake up to, wasn't it? I tried to pretend I hadn't read it and turned over for another 40 winks. Thanks to that, I was laid up and got a roasting from the super. Some mornings are just like that, aren't they? As a detective, what do you make of this? Firstly speaking, 9 times out of 10 of our clues turn out to be red herrings. So there's every chance that's totally irrelevant. That's actually a fairly persuasive argument. Okay, just want to verify. Converse. Government policy. Using high voltage electricity to somehow disassemble a man's body and then beam him across the Crystal Tower. It's an extraordinary thing to attempt, especially in public. Okay, good. My eyes are actually better now. I swear, when I was first recording this episode, just my eyes were very blurry for some reason. My vision was blurry. I really couldn't see the text. It was strange. True, it was by far the most unusual of experiments planned at the exhibition, mind. To be honest, I'm a bit surprised it was allowed. Carrying out something so dangerous with so many specters present, I mean. Spectators, not specters. Yes, they're all specters after the experiment is end. The government's doing everything it can to promote new science and technology at the moment. They're more worried about being ahead of the game than the old spot public safety infringements. If they can be the first to develop some new technology, it makes Britain more powerful in the future, you see. Yes, I suppose that's true, in a way. So the powers that be are placing a heavy emphasis on scientists' rights at the moment.
What sort of rights?
They make it so that any theories the brains have remain their legal property, as it were. Right through developing it into a practical idea and even going into production. Which is the infuriating reason us coppers aren't allowed to touch this crime scene. Because the new highfalutin special dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act forbids it. Ah, I see now. The only people with permission to investigate here are from some brand new department at the yard. The Forensic Investigation Team, it's called. We've been relegated to keeping guard. The Forensic Investigation Team? Any old fool can say that this heap of scrap metal was a sham to begin with. But just because it says scientific equipment on the paperwork, we can't do a flaming thing with it.
Poor Gregson, he's very head up, isn't he?
Special suspension. Remind me again, what's this new legal act that means we're not allowed to touch the scene here? Are you having me at it, Sunshine? It's the Special Suspension for Scientific Equipment Act.
Yes, I think Hurley mentioned that recently. With a real twinkle in his eyes, I remember.
Finally, I will have the legitimacy in court for once. Hello, Mr. Reaper. Remember when you insulted my skin prints and then proceeded to insult my sprays? Well, now the shoe is on the other foot, and isn't it stinky? I'm sure he did, Your Lordship. I'm sure he did. Past everything, especially by this exhibition it was. All scientists have to do is present their ideas or inventions to some suits in the civil service, and it gets rubber stamped, and that's a guarantee of rights to maintain the invention's confidentiality. What does that really mean? Think about it. Think of all the world-changing new inventions on display every day at this exhibition. Although a good half of them are a load of gobblers, if you ask me, put forward by shammers like yourself. Thanks for that.
Oh, I love how absurd some of the inventions here are. It's also fun.
It might be fun to you, but a member of the force has to be present at every single demonstration. Can you imagine, eh? Hang-ons, that's what I say. And then basically, and then Sherlock, and then Gregson, Why do I have pulse music? And then Emma, who came back at a time machine, just runs up and kicks Gregson in the groin. Ah, my groin!
That's for science, you asshole!
And then Emma just warps back to the future.
Oh, I don't think so. That sounds like my dream job.
You two think otherwise after spending a day guarding all these shameless bogus contraptions. But if they're all bogus, how can anyone hope to demonstrate them? There'd be no point. Yeah, well, there is a point, sadly. Sorry? Thanks to another of our government's broad ideas, if any theory or invention is deemed to show potential, the government hands out a research grant. The scientists get funding? Exactly, and that's what they're all after. All these chammers coming from far and wide to clog up Hyde Park. And who has to keep them all safe, eh? Who has to smile politely and welcome? Us coppers, that's who. So you can see why I say it now, can't you? Hang science! Hang it!
Oh, maybe I can see your point.
Professor Airbrain. Hang science and hang him too! I have the noose right here! And then Gregson takes out a noose. I can just imagine Gregson having a moment like that in the court. Gregson basically, the jury doesn't even declare the verdict yet, and then the trial starts, and then Gregson, hang him now! Inspector Gregson, I really don't think, hang him now! Alright, what are we waiting for? I have the noose right here! Apparently, Professor Hairbrain lives and works in Germany now, conducting his research. That's wrong. Came back to Britain especially for the Grey Exhibition, as I understand it. Probably after one of the government's research grants. Actually, we learned something else about the professor earlier today. About his time in further education, it turns out he was at the university with someone we both know. Lord Van Zeeks. Hey, what's that? That's news to me. But if Van Zeeks means the prosecution, then as the accused, the professor's fate is sealed because the Reaper will get him one way or another. Blimey, that man's beyond me. I know what goes on through that head of his. Talking of Van Zeeks, this morning's paper ran the story of him being attacked. Read that?
Oh, yes, but Mr. Reaper was completely fine. Nothing to worry about.
Yes, right. Glad to hear it. Still, the Reaper, huh? How long's that business been gonna keep up, I wonder? The mystery of the Reaper. The victim of this case, the investor, Mr. Assman. He was another of the Reaper's victims, or so I heard. Lord Baroque Van Zeeks is a top-class prosecutor. He cuts everyone's files like no one else. He is like a god at the pie cut. But even he can't always push the right verdict through. Sometimes justice can't win. Yes, I've heard about jurors being bribed and evidence being falsified. And that's how the notion of the Reaper of the Bailey came about, isn't it? Obviously, Scotland Yard suspected Van Zeeks initially. We all assumed he was taking matters into his own hands. If he failed to seal the deal in court, he was like Batman, but edgier. He had his bets with him. He threw bottles of wine at his enemies along with the glasses. Although the man himself denies the charges. Well, we've done a very thorough investigation, and the conclusion we've reached is that Lord Van Zeeks is in no way related to the deaths of those people outside the courtroom. There's no question in my mind. I'd stake my reputation on it, I would. But if that's true, then how do you explain it? All those defendants couldn't just have coincidentally died if nobody killed them. I know that, but I can't explain it. It's a mystery after all, isn't it? That's the whole point of the Reaper. Professor Hairbrain mentioned something else. He said that at university, Lord Van Zeeks was a totally different person. Easygoing and kind. You what? He said that it was after they both graduated that something happened to change the man. Do you have any idea what it was? No clue. Really? Look, I've got my hands full watching over this frustrating crime scene. Why don't you go and make a nuisance of yourself elsewhere, eh?
Gracie, you bet you're making me angry. And when I get angry, characters die.
Just silence from Iris. Iris is planning something. Iris is gonna push Gregson down the stairs. She's gonna have it where artist stealing from reality. She's gonna push Gregson down the stairs. Iris is gonna create her own Reaper's Curse, in which basically everything that happens to characters in the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes will happen to them in real life. Gregson falls down the stairs in the story, and then basically Gregson then gets pushed down a flight of stairs by Iris. Right, are you done here, Mr. Naruto? Sorry? Isn't it about time you were leaving, or rather, it is about time you were leaving. That lot are here now.
That lot?
The forensic investigation team. They'll be giving me the Evo in a minute too.
Oh dear, poor Gregsy. Only I give him the heap-ho. Here, I have another cup of my special blend to cheer you up.
Oh boy, tastes salty. Ah, that ain't the sport. Yup, it hits it every time. Well, at least I've seen the scene with my own eyes. It looks like this is as far as we're going to get with our investigations here, at least.
I've been thinking. Harley might know something, mightn't he?
About what?
Destroying things! About Mr. Reaper!
About what happened to Lord Van Zeeks, you mean? Because it sounds like something very significant occurred after he graduated from university. Something that completely changed his life. Maybe, but I have no idea where to find Mr. Sholmes at the moment. He's in the middle of some big case, isn't he?
Here! This is what you need.
What's this? Some kind of entrance ticket? Madam Two Spells. Is this supposed to mean something to me?
You don't know it? It's the most popular attraction not at the moment. It's very close to Baker Street, actually. We could go there now if you'd like.
No. We don't have time for visiting attractions today, Iris. We have a big trial tomorrow.
But that's where Harley is.
What? Ah, at this popular London attraction?
Yes.
How is it that you know where he is?
I know everything, Bruno. I have eyes across the city. Harley told me, but he told me to keep it a secret from you, Bruno.
Madam Two Spells. I don't see how it could be related to the case we're investigating here, but then stranger things have happened, and when they happen, Mr. Sholmes is usually at the heart of them. Okay, in that case, I think now would be a good time to end things off. I really appreciate that you stuck around to watch this episode. You're a great viewer, and I hope you come back for the next one. If you like this video, like, subscribe, comment, share, do whatever that you want. Without seeing you next time. Bye.